Warri Refinery begins operation after decades of closure. More reviews and projections as 2024 gets to final line. And food sufficiency drive heightens. More attention goes to repositioning livestock industry. Hello and thank you for joining us on the Network News on NTA. I'm Naja Atutijani. We'll be joining Hingino John Adams in our Lagos Network Center. And as usual, Musa Abubakar on the business beat. Musa?
The equities market begin the week in positive territory.
All right, we look forward to the details. Meanwhile, Bade Adeleye is also in our Abuja studio with sports update. Bade, I hear a player is back in the country.
You're very much correct, Najato. That's Brownie Day. He has just signed for Imba International. We'll bring details in the sports segment.
And we look forward to the details. Remember that this broadcast is being streamed live on our website, nta.ng/live, on our YouTube channel, and you can follow us across social media for all the latest. The successful startup of Area 1 crude distillation unit, gas plant and vacuum distillation of Warri Refinery is providing an additional 75,000 barrels per day of petroleum products to the market. The plant is currently operating at 60% capacity as key players commit to boosting production. Lydia Sampson reports.
For many here, it is a milestone as it is the successful startup of Area 1 of Warri Refinery, and experts here are categorical that the introduction of more products into the market is a game-changing one for the Nigerian oil and gas industry.
It's a very, very happy day for us, especially in NNPC, for witnessing this milestone.
This plant has 3 stages. We have started the plant 1, which is, we call it Area 1, the fuels plant. It is able to produce AGO, kerosene, naphtha, and also a blend of fuel oil. And these are high-grade quality products that are required in the country. This company will make money, and the promise of Mr. President that this country must be a net exporter of petroleum products is already happening.
So this is an indication of the determination of our leader, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for his focus and determination by pushing both the regulator and the NNPC to ensure that these plants are come on stream.
When I saw the production from the fire, you can see it. I'm very, very happy. Warri is back to life.
The depots in Port Harcourt is working, in Warri is working, and you can see it live. We are loading now. We'll continue to do that while we complete other operating units.
The 2.9 million barrels per day diesel, 1.9 million barrels per day kerosene, and 4.9 million per day fuel oil is believed to underscore a commitment to improving refinery performance and address long-standing issues that have hindered optimal operations for the oil and gas industry. From Warri, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has expressed joy over the reopening of Warri Refinery and Petrochemical Company by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, describing it as another remarkable achievement which has strengthened the hope of Nigerians in this administration. Presidential Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, in a statement, confirms that the Warri Refinery returned to operation weeks after NNPC Limited restarted 60,000 barrels per day at the Port Harcourt Refinery in November. With Warri Refinery and Petrochemical Company going into operation after several years of inactivity, President Tinubu expresses his administration's determination to ramp up local refining capacity and make Nigeria a hub for downstream industrial activities in Africa. The past administration of Muhammadu Buhari awarded a contract for the complete rehabilitation and overhaul of the 4 state-owned refineries. President Tinubu therefore notes that with the 125,000 barrel per day Warri Refinery, which is now operating at 60% capacity, this administration's plan to ensure energy efficiency and security is entirely on course. And back from the field in Warri, straight to our studios is our energy correspondent, Lydia Sampson, to tell us more about this. Welcome and thank you for joining us, Lydia.
Thank you for having me.
Now, earlier on, you joined other journalists to see the restreaming of the refinery, the Warri Refinery. How would you describe what you saw?
Honestly, it was a pleasant surprise because before departing Abuja for Warri, we were told that the visit was just to assess the status of the refinery at the moment. But on arriving Warri Refinery, we saw the start of flare and we all started wondering and murmuring, is this one also restreamed? But of course, only to confirm that actually it's the Area 1 part of the refinery has been restreamed and it's currently operating at 60% capacity and producing 75,000 barrels per day. And it was genuinely a very exciting experience for all of us because most of the journalists were like, is it again? Because until we got to Warri, we didn't know. We were just told that we're going there for an assignment to access and evaluate the status of the refinery. But going there, we joined all other key players that were already on ground and were taken around by the managing director, and we actually saw things for ourselves. And I think it's really a game-changing one because even as journalists, we didn't even know what we were going for, only to be pleasantly surprised. And I believe it's a pleasant surprise for all of us too, as a country.
And what a surprise indeed, Lydia. Is there a projected timeline for the full reactivation of the refinery?
You could see that work is ongoing, but I think one of the resolve on the part of the National Oil Company, NNPC, is not to give timelines again, because issues of timelines has been creating a lot of trust deficit with the people. And that's why some people are still very cynical and saying they are not even sure if these refineries are working. And we're also told that they got a clear directive from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that Nigerians don't want to see your efforts, they want to see results. And so right now what they do is they just take us to see results. And even when journalists asked, they said there won't be any timeline, but you can see clearly that a lot is ongoing there.
I mean, indeed, your report did say that it's operating at 60% capacity. And are you aware of any strategies put in place to address any potential challenges, maintenance, crude supply, logistics, and workforce development post-reactivation?
Yeah, because the restreamed refineries out of Port Harcourt and Warri are yet to operate at optimal capacity. But we also learned that going forward, there are projections that they will be handed over to operation and maintenance contractors. And the role of these contractors is to ensure that these refineries are maintained and, if possible, and when they, not just impossible, must definitely go through maintenance as at when due. But at the moment, because it's not operating yet and not fully optimal, NNPC is still doing that with their staff, and most of the staff we see on ground, honestly, are looking male and female, I must say, very dedicated. But the overall ultimate goal is to ensure that an operating and maintenance contracting firm is in charge, and it will not be NNPC, so there won't be issues of maybe bureaucracy and all. As contractors, their job is to ensure maintenance of the refinery and optimal operation, and to be sustained to ensure that this refinery don't go back to dormancy, as was the case that led us to where we are now.
Well, Lydia, still on maintenance, did you notice while you were there any specific upgrades or technological enhancements to improve the refinery's efficiency, especially regarding the environment?
Yeah, we see a lot of newness, and we, as a journalist, you interact even with engineers and other stakeholders on the field, and we're told that most of these refineries are coming back as virtually brand new. because of the state-of-the-art technology that is in place. And, you know, most of the technologies now, because of the issues around climate and challenges with the environment, are usually environmentally friendly. So I believe that going forward, whatever is happening, production will not be done in the old way where a lot of emission is done. Right now, I believe, even when we were there, we saw this flare start up, and we noticed that it was not as smoky and as dark as it used to be. So I believe the deployment of state-of-the-art technology will definitely be game-changing.
Well, thank you very much for that update, Lydia.
Thank you for
Our
having
energy
me.
correspondent there, Lydia Sampson, on the Warri Refinery and Petrochemical Company, working at 60% capacity. Thank you again, Lydia.
Thank you for having me.
And now let's talk legislative matters. Working together for the good of Nigerians has been the philosophy of the 10th Senate. The President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, re-emphasized this when the National Assembly hosted President Tinubu for the 2025 budget presentation. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali tells us how the 10th Senate in 2024 collaborated with other arms of government and the Nigerian people to attain its aspirations.
We will make sure that we listen to Nigerians and dot the I's and cross the T's to the satisfaction of all Nigerians and for the benefit of this country. We will not kill any reform that you bring forward that will change the future of this country.
When we're also going through the kind of socio-economic and political situation that we're going through as a nation, you see that there cannot be a better time, you know, for the legislative arm to collaborate with the executive arm.
The 10th Senate, no doubt, toed this line of collaboration, leading to the passage of legislations that are profound to improve security, economy and livelihood of Nigerians. Key legislations passed by the Senate in 2024 include the 70,000 Naira minimum wage bill, the 300% salaries increase for judicial officers, and the repeal and reenactment of the 2024 budget, increasing the figure from 28.7 trillion to 34.9 trillion naira. Other development-related legislations passed in 2024, some of which have been assented to for equity across the sub-regions of Nigeria, are Development Commission's establishment bills. Perhaps the most historic of legislations in 2024 is the comeback of the old national anthem, which attracted overwhelming positive response from Nigerians.
I want you to listen to the meaning. Nigeria, we hail thee, we greet you. Our own dear native land. Our own dear native land. This is our land. We don't have any other.
In line with constitutional powers, Senate confirmed appointees of the president, among them 7 new ministers, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, and the Chief of Army Staff. As is the practice with each assembly, the 10th Senate is in the process of constitutional review, and already interests are being voiced.
Create an additional state for Southeast. So Southeast can have 6 states in tandem with other zones of the Federation.
We're looking at creation of coastal states. The reason for this is not about bringing demand for state creation. The coastal state is Ondo South Senatorial District, where I come from.
The 10th Senate is expected to pass the budget after resumption as it continues work on the tax reform bills. Tax experts have, in the period under review, explained the benefits.
Let's be well knowledgeable about whatever we want to do.
Many of the laws that we have in Nigeria today around taxation, we inherited from our colonial masters. And our policies, tax, fiscal policy, monetary policy, must facilitate sustainable growth and development.
As the chapter closes on 2024, the lawmakers reflect on some events, like the suspension of Senator Abdul Ningi over allegations of budget padding and the removal of Mohammed Ali Ndume as chief whip, with Mohammed Tahir Munguno taking his place after the APC hierarchy expressed disappointment on some of his utterances. Beyond the achievements and other happenings in 2024, the death of Senator Ifeanyi Ubah, who represented Anambra South, remains fresh in the memory of lawmakers in the 10th Senate. Lami Ali, NTA News.
Harnessing Nigeria's natural resources, fertile agricultural lands, creative industries, and a vibrant technology sector to build a resilient economy. The Speaker, House of Representatives, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, stressed all this while speaking at a private university in Ilorin. Shola Wahid reports.
Speaking on the topic Beyond Oil, Exploring Alternative Revenue, Potentials for Economic Growth and Sustainable Development in Nigeria, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas ascribed it to over-reliance on oil revenue, which has made the country vulnerable to global marketing fluctuations, environmental degradation, and economic instability.
Before oil, Nigeria was doing well. Agriculture, mining was the dominant occupation, and Nigeria was able to stand on its own grounds. But since we discovered oil, in a way, we'll say we benefited so much, but it became a curse in the sense that it made us lazy. It made us to abandon areas that we should have strengthened and hold dearly. And now we are waking up to say we need to carve a future where we don't have to be thinking about oil anymore.
The Speaker urged Nigerians to play their part by supporting government at levels to achieve the desired results. Shola Wahid, NTA News.
Providing requisite skills for the youth, a necessity for enhanced productivity. This is what the Member House of Representatives from Yobe State, Khadija Bukar Abba Ibrahim, has been doing in her constituency, where 400 youth are expected to benefit from ICT training for self-reliance. Amina Saidu has details.
Gathered in the main bowl of the Cultural Center in Damaturu are 400 youths from the 4 council areas of Damaturu, Tarmua, Gujba and Gulani Federal Constituency, which Khadija Bukar Abba Ibrahim represents at the National Assembly, to build their capacity for self-reliance and enhance productivity in the society.
This significant event is another clear demonstration of good presentation by the honorable member as she is making another effort to sow the seeds of uplifting the well-being of our youth as part of her constituency program.
At the end of the training, each beneficiary will receive 150,000 naira cash and starter packs to assist them establish their businesses.
We have executed various developmental policies and programs that have direct bearing in the lives and the daily human endeavors that make significant impact in all human aspects.
The constituency projects will complement the efforts of this present government towards reducing unemployment among the people to the barest minimum.
The beneficiaries commended Khadija Bukar Abba Ibrahim for consistent interventions in her constituency for improved livelihoods since her re-election in 2023.
World leaders have continued to pay tribute to former United States President Jimmy Carter, who died on Sunday, aged 100 years. Carter served as the 39th President of the United States from 1977 to 1981. Musa Baba Aliu reports.
Jimmy Carter, the former United States President, was a peanut farmer from Georgia before entering politics. Carter, a Democrat, was elected president and served a single term from 1977 to 1981.
Faithfully execute.
That I will faithfully execute.
The office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States.
However, he lost his re-election bid to Ronald Reagan despite his notable achievements as a peacemaker. During his presidency, he advocated peace in the Middle East and mediated a truce between Israel and Arab nations.
We're using every available channel to protect the safety of the hostages and to secure their release.
Carter was the first U.S. president to make a formal state visit to sub-Saharan Africa. Jimmy Carter visited Nigeria from March 31 to April 3, 1978. After he left office, he established the Carter Center in 1982. The non-profit organization has championed causes including global health and human rights. As he paid tribute to the late Jimmy Carter, President Joe Biden of the United States declared January 9 a Nation Day of mourning for Jimmy Carter. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu extends condolences to the government and people of the United States of America on the passing of former President Jimmy Carter, who died at the age of 100 years old. President Carter, the 39th President of the United States, was of service to humanity, demonstrating to leaders worldwide the profound impact of dedication beyond the highest office. As a Nobel Peace Prize laureate and global statesman, President Carter devoted his post-presidential life to promoting peace, democracy, and the eradication of tropical diseases, leaving an indelible mark on the world. President Tinubu fondly recalls President Carter as a trustworthy and compassionate friend of Nigeria. Praising his significant contributions through the Carter Center, particularly his efforts at eradicating guinea worm disease and river blindness in Nigeria, which have significantly improved many lives. Reflecting on Nigeria-US relations, President Tinubu remembers President Carter's historic visit to Nigeria in March 1978 and his 3-day stay at the State House in Marina, Lagos State. Carter's leadership, this visit marked a pivotal moment in U.S. foreign policy, laying the groundwork for pragmatic relationship between the United States and Africa, with Nigeria at its heart. The president expresses hope that President Carter's legacy of decency, character, and humanity, both in and out of office, will continue to inspire Americans and leaders worldwide to embrace the true essence of leadership. Ahead in the news, Governor Zulum receives flood committee report as Nasarawa state government engages boundary communities on peace-building process. Right after the break. Gideon and Joy Life and Leadership Foundation has launched its 2024 Strategic Empowerment Program for business women and 100 million naira scholarship for brilliant indigenous students in Ebonyi and other states of the country. The empowerment coincides with the 45th birthday of the foundation's founder and CEO of Gosima Group of Companies, Dr. Gideon Chidebere OC. Kanayo Okoro reports.
The empowerment, which started with a Thanksgiving and Christmas party, was designed to glorify the Almighty God for peace, progress, and protection of the sons and daughters of Ishago community.
We are thanking God for the gift of life for so many of us. We are thanking God for the blessings of the fruit of the womb.
The former Senate President Anyim Pius Anyim and other stakeholders who were visibly impressed with the feats recorded by the illustrious sons and daughters urge them to unite towards sustaining the development of the area.
You can see the entire community is mobilized. We believe that God has visited us, and we think we have a commitment to thank God, and to God be the glory.
This is a turning point in the political history of our community that you see quite a number of our leaders coming together in canopy.
On his part, Dr. Gideon Chidebere Ossi, whose 45th birthday coincided with the event, explained that due to the excellent performance of the beneficiaries of his scholarship program, another 100 million naira scholarship fund has been earmarked to see brilliant children achieve their dreams.
Not just the birthday. We're celebrating God's goodness to our family, good health for our children. We're celebrating exploits in our business. We're celebrating, very specially, our students at the Gideon and Joy Life and Leadership Foundation. With that motivation, we decided that we would double our investment in education.
Some of the beneficiaries shared their excitement.
It will go a long way in my business because I deal on frozen food business.
By the inauguration of a 2-kilometer asphalted road in Amata community, attracted by Dr. Gideon Chidebere Ossi, as well as the inauguration of 100 million naira 2024 scholarship funds and distribution of employment and other items to commemorate the Yuletide. In Abakaliki, Kana Yokro, NTA News.
And from Abakaliki, we head to Maiduguri. where Borno State Governor Babagana Umar Zulum says his administration has judiciously utilized the over 28 billion naira and other items donated to support Maiduguri flood victims. The governor made this known when he received the report of the Flood Disaster Relief Disbursement Committee.
Following the 9th September devastating flood that ravaged Maiduguri and environs, Borno State Government, as part of proactive measures, set off the Flood Disaster Relief Disbursement Committee to assist victims and ensure judicious disbursement of donated funds and distribution of food and non-food items to the citizens affected by the tragedy. Governor Umar Zulum applauded the committee for doing a good job, saying it's one of the best reports he had received since assumption of office.
I want to assure the people of Borno State that all the contributions that have been made to the government of Borno State were judiciously utilized. The outcome of this very important committee is highly noted.
The governor used the opportunity to appreciate the federal and state governments, humanitarian and donor partners, individuals and corporate organizations for the support to the flood victims. He also announced that the list of donors have been published in 3 national dailies and that individual donors and corporate organizations omitted in the publications will also be reflected to ensure transparency and accountability. Chairman of the committee, Bababukar Gujibau, gave a breakdown of the beneficiaries of the over 28 billion naira.
The remaining balance of 4,452,708,263 naira 34 kobo in the relief account should be allocated for the rehabilitation of earthworks in affected communities.
Other recommendations include distribution of the remaining food items to the host community and street naming, among others. In Maiduguri, Mohamed Goni, NTA News.
Thank you, Mohamed Goni. Meanwhile, the popular Mubi International Cattle Market in Adamawa State is about to get a facelift as part of plans to reposition the nation's livestock industry. This came to the fore during a high-powered engagement between the Minister of Livestock Development and leadership of the market. Yusuf Jika reports.
Mubi International Cattle Market, a commercial space that houses dozens of herds of cattle and other livestock potential, may have been operating below its status. This perhaps may not be far-fetched from the crude infrastructure, which is now raising concerns for redress with the Ministry of Livestock Development at the pilot site.
These cattle come here with a high degree of morbidity. They lose weight, they look haggard, and they cannot be sold off immediately. And in fact, some of them come sick. So the idea here is to be able to establish veterinary clinics and surveillance centers to be able to address that issue.
This is one of the largest international stock routes in the country. It links Cameroon Republic and northern part of Adamawa State, precisely Maiha and Mubi local government areas. On a daily basis, there are hundreds of herds of cows and other animals that en route here to other parts of the country. An art dam is under construction to provide water to migrating cattle.
At determined intervals, we are going to place motorized boreholes driven by solar power with sufficient drinking troughs and a resting point where these cattle drivers mandatorily will have to rest these cattle for a minimum of 12 hours.
A grand reception was organized in honor of the minister by his kinsmen, which climaxed with a royal visit to the palace of the Emir of Mubi. Yusuf Jika, NTA News.
It's time now to join Hingino in Lagos for more on the network news. Hingino.
Thank you, Najat, and welcome to Lagos. Lagos residents have settled into a seamless movement of commercial and private vehicles from the mainland to the island and vice versa with the rehabilitation of the third mainland, Kata and Eko bridges. Correspondent Lanre Belei, who spoke with some Lagosians, tells us more.
Lagos has a high volume of car traffic with 1.6 million vehicles plying the city's road on a daily basis. As such, the roads require constant upgrading. With 22% of the city underwater, the bridges linking the island to the mainland carry a large chunk of cars, thereby causing traffic. Little wonder President Bola Tinubu-led administration embarked on massive rehabilitation of these bridges. Under the eagle eye of the Minister of Works, David Umahi, the third mainland, Carter, and Ekro bridges were rehabilitated on record time. Lagosians say they are now breathing a sigh of relief since the rehabilitation was completed, and it will definitely help in their socio-economic pursuit as they welcome the new year.
Compared before, even early in the morning, you will see a lot of traffic, but now that is very free.
There's potholes on the road before, you understand, but now there's nothing like vehicle breaking down. Since they've repaired it and I've been parking there, I've not seen any bus or car broke down.
Terminal bridge is totally changed. It's totally just like a new one, because the way it is before, when we compare now and last year, the last year one is very somehow. A lot of potholes, no light, no security, and the thing is causing a lot of things like accidents.
The federal government says it is still focused on roads construction in the coming year. In Lagos, projects such as Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, Abuja to Lagos Corridor have been green-lighted. In Lagos, Larry Bilayi, NTA News.
Talking health now, tuberculosis, a public health crisis, is curable and preventable. But in Nigeria, data reveals that more than 200,000 people die from the disease annually. Experts have attributed the alarming figures to ignorance and poverty. In this report, correspondent takes a look at ways of ending TB in Nigeria.
I spent another 3 months at that other place, doing all type of ritual, all type of spiritual things, and there was no change. It wasn't easy. I feel like the first 2 weeks,
they will tell me to bring seawater. I have to look for it. They will put, I don't know what they call it just in English. They will pound it in my presence. They will put it in that water. They will look for alligator pepper. They will put in that water. Go and be taking it.
The harrowing experiences of some TB champions who were ignorant of the disease which caused them so much pains. Abdul Salam Abdul Qadri and Oluseyi Kadri's sad stories are just few out of millions of those who are suffering in silence as a result of tuberculosis. The World Health Organization's 2022 Global TB Report shows that Nigeria has the highest burden of TB in Africa and ranks 6th globally. This is worrisome as the disease is preventable and curable.
Regularly go and do a checkup. Get a chest x-ray, make sure you know your immunization status, make sure you know your TB status. And then take care of the people around you, the people you work with, the people you live with, the people you travel on the bus or in the taxi with. You know, be cautious and careful to ensure that they are not spreading the disease to you. You are not catching things that you are taking home to friends and family.
Abdul Salam and Oluseyi have since joined efforts to call for implementation of the National Strategic Plan 2021 to 2026 to accelerate efforts of ending TB in Nigeria. Those are the reports from Lagos. Network News continues after the break with Musa, who is standing by with business news.
You're still watching NTA Network News. Let's bring you up to speed with business development. Natural gas futures prices surged Monday, hitting a new 52-week high, following reports of a colder than usual temperature outlook for January. Brent crude futures rose 40 cents to $74.57 a barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude gained 72 cents to $71.36 a barrel. The equities market began the first weekday of trading in positive territory. The all-share index climbed 0.99% to close at 103,149.35 points. A total of 641 million shares in 13,778 deals corresponding to a market value of 15.5 billion naira were traded. Today's data shows 44% improvement in volume, 30% improvement in turnover, and 10% improvement in deals. Market capitalization increased to 62.2 trillion naira. Universal Insurance Company recorded the highest volume of 71.5 million traded shares, followed by Guarantee Trust Holding, Access Holdings, and CNI Leasing. And now to global stocks. Stocks moved lower Monday in one of the last few trading sessions of 2024, potentially putting a sore ending on a banner year for investors. Let's see global stocks. It's time to take pause for more messages. The news continues after the break.
Let's talk staff welfare. Veteran broadcasters have suggested the establishment of a Nigerian Television Authority Foundation to support retired staff, particularly those with health needs and those with health challenges and others with need. This was during a reunion dinner where the Director General of the NTA pledged to prioritize staff welfare. Muhammad Umar Ajigi reports.
This is NTA Kaduna in the heart of Kaduna Metropolis, a premier broadcast organization since in the 70s and 80s that has produced iconic contents that reflect the rich cultural heritage of the North. Senator Shehu Sani recalls some of the station's most educative programs.
Samanja, Magana Jariche, and many programs, Titus Workshop.
These are some of the producers, presenters, cameramen, and notable artists such as Hawafun Tua. The Director General of the NTA, Salu Abdulhamid Dembos, who began his career as a cameraman here, is also among the men behind the scene who have contributed in producing some of these great contents.
My dream for Nigeria and for NTA is the dream of every Nigerian, to see a television that will be diverse and a television that every Nigerian will be proud of, a television that will be believable. And I'm glad part of the testimonies we've had this afternoon and through the evening, good comments about the authority. I give kudos to the working head members of staff of the authority, and we also want to thank the viewers, that is Nigerians.
Nobody who is a minister, a governor, or a lawmaker that will have said he has not benefited in one way or another from NTA career. And you can see that he is repositioning the Nigerian Television Authority. Yes, sir. It has become an authority. It has become a source of credible information.
This reunion provides an opportunity for them to meet their colleagues who they have not seen for over 30, 40, 50 years.
Feeling fantastically well, honestly, because if I have blood pressure of 140, I'm so nice about 120.
In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Ajigi, NTA News.
Muslims have been urged to start looking for the new moon of Rajab 1446 after Hijrah on Tuesday, 31st December 2024. This is contained in a statement signed by the Chairman Advisory Committee on Religious Affairs, Sultanate Council, Sokoto, Professor Sambu Wali Junaidu. It says tomorrow, Tuesday, 31st December 2024, is equivalent to 29th Jumada Thani, 1446, after Hijrah, and the first day to search for the new crescent of Rajab. Professor Junaid calls on Muslims to report any sighting of the new crescent to the nearest district or village head for onward communication to the Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar. Up next is Global News.
Families and friends of yesterday's air mishap victims have gathered, mourning, seeking information and hoping for heart-cooling closure regarding events leading up to the plane crashes of yesterday in South Korea, Seoul, and Canada. They asked the government to work twice as hard to recover bodies faster to enable them give the dead a burial of honor. In other news, the European Union on Monday requested authorization from the World Trade Organization to impose countermeasures to compensate for U.S. custom duties on Spanish olive imports. The request was filed at a meeting of the WTO's dispute settlement body, DSB, after Washington challenged the amount of retaliation proposed by the EU. The EU requests for DSB authorization to impose countermeasures on imports from the United States to compensate for the US's failure to comply with an earlier panel ruling faulting US anti-dumping and countervailing duties on the ripe olives from Spain. Under WTO rules, if a country is found in fault, it must make amends without delay. If not, the complaining country can impose retaliatory measures. Kolo Muhammad, NTA News.
And now let's join Bade for the details he promised us earlier on. Bade? Well, we're glad to hear it, Bade. Thank you for the update. Former President Muhammadu Buhari commiserates with the Emir of Machina of Yobe State, Dr. Bashir al-Bishir Bukar Machina, on the loss of his mother, Hajia Hawame Bukar Machinawa. In a telephone call to the bereaved Emir, Buhari described Hajia's life as a good example of meaningful existence, one of commitment to service and the strength of devotion to values and unwavering faith in God, even in difficult circumstances. In another telephone call to former Comptroller General of the Nigeria Immigration Service, Muhammad Babandidi, who lost his mother, the former president spoke about her simplicity and caring persona. Muhammadu Buhari describes Hajia Hajara as a shining example of a mother who played a very important role in shaping the character, life, and successful career of her son, who rose to become the nation's #1 immigration official. Buhari praised Allah for the repose of the souls of the deceased and fortitude for the Emir and the former Comptroller General to bear the loss of their mothers. That's the network news tonight. Thank you for being a part of it. But before I sign out, here's a recap. The successful startup of Area 1 crude distillation unit, gas plant and vacuum distillation units of Warri Refinery has attracted commendation from the people. And on that note, we conclude the network news on NTA. Thanks for being a part of it. I'm Naja Atutijani.